getting ready for a connection, and I ran into Terry Funk. We sat down, had a cup of coffee, true story, at about 10 in the morning in a little bistro there in one of the concourses. And Terry shared a few of his thoughts on the business and how it was evolving at that particular point in time. I think if you go back 30 plus years, you remember the rock and wrestling and everything else that tie-ins with mainstream media, Liberace, Muhammad Ali, I mean that list goes on and on. Closing words in a conversation I had with Terry. So what do you think today? I mean, we had Hogan, Steamboat, all of these names, the Macho Man. There's one out of the past. Thank you. He says, you know what the deal is, Mean Gene? It's not how good they work, it's how good their music is. Probably got to be there. And thank you. WWE, thank you. Next honoree of the evening. This is no shock to me because I have seen her so often. The presence she has in and out of the ring is second to none. Hails from Canada too, where I spent a lot of time. Matter of fact, I cut my teeth up there. Final honor of the evening recognizes Trish Stratus with the 2016 CAC Iron Mike Mazurki Award. Trish, first female to win the award. Cut in the path. Well done. To present to Miss Stratus, please welcome famous trainer, CAC honoree, and CAC board member, Mr. Ron Hutchinson. Right.
Don't worry, Gene, I'll get you to the bar shortly here. What a night. What a week. How about a hand for all of the honorees of this year? I'm going to try to be as serious as you've ever seen me, because this award is very important to me. If you're lucky enough, each of us has at least one person, sometimes several persons or people in their lives. I have been extremely lucky to have met many, including my CAC family. Tonight, it has been my extreme pleasure, and I'm starting to shake up here, so that's okay, to talk to you about one of these very special people. Trish Stratus is a young woman who I first encountered in 1999 at Sully's Gym in Toronto. She had what I would call the it factor. She was born with that. And that certainly helps, but you also need smarts. You need to have a strong work ethic, and a lot of luck in cases. And you've got to work toward a goal. You've got to be able to seize any opportunity that comes your way. And that's not by luck, that's by design. Trish Stratus come into my gym. So much for this script. You know of Trish's many wrestling accolades. She is, without a doubt, the most decorated lady wrestler of our generation. And she's earned each and everything she's got. She's worked hard for each and everything she's got. She's more than a student to me. She has become a great friend. I know that she's a model wife, a fantastic mother, and anybody who has truly met her or knows her knows that. Ladies and gentlemen, she's been a trailblazer, I called it in a recent interview, and she continues to blaze trails. from the moment she entered the business until right here tonight. She's been a role model for many a young woman to try and get into this business. I can't tell you the countless numbers of young ladies that have come to me and said that they'd love to be like Trish Stratus. I've always told them, well, you've picked a very good role model. There will never be another Trish Stratus. Ladies and gentlemen, blazing trails again tonight. The first woman ever in the prestigious history of the Cauliflower Alley Club to be named the Iron Mike Mazurki Award winner. Put your hand together for my dear friend, and now yours, the lovely Miss Trish Stratus.
That applause is because I'm the last speech, or for me, I'm just saying. Ron, I just thank you for those words tonight. Thank you for your support. It's so awkward when they're behind you, isn't it? Yes, thank you for your support and the friendship over the years. And thank you for believing me and taking a chance. I really appreciate it. And Ron's kind of like my wrestling papa, that's what I call him sometimes. So to hear that I made you proud makes me very happy. Thank you. Well, I am humbled and honored to be the 2016 recipient of the Iron Mike Award. And I am tremendously proud to be the first female to be named to this prestigious award. When Ron called me, I thought he was ribbing me first. And then when he convinced me that I was in fact this year's recipient, he then told me some of the past winners. And it blew my mind. And I could rattle off some of the names here tonight for a cheap pop, but it's not really the place. Or is it the perfect place to do that? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sergeant Slaughter. Bret Hart. Terry Funk, he's not behind me. Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Terry Taylor, to name a few. These men were my wrestling heroes. They are my wrestling heroes. I grew up watching them, respecting them, and eventually emulating them. So this evening, it's a little overwhelming and, to be honest, somewhat surreal to be joining that list tonight. I want to thank the Cauliflower Alley Club for being so forward-thinking in naming a female to this award. When I was a kid growing up wrestling, I never thought that I'd be standing up here as a woman receiving one of the most respected awards in professional wrestling. I thought I'd give you guys a little, it is a little bit more than a little background, but I'm gonna try to keep it shorter. A little background on how this nice Greek girl from Toronto grew up to be a wrestler. Growing up, one of my favorite TV shows was Wonder Woman. Loved me some Linda Carter. Loved that she could kick ass while looking good doing it. Even back then I realized that was a hard balance to achieve. And the other show that I used to watch was wrestling. When the rock and wrestling connection started and Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper started doing their thing, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I grew up in a large Greek family, and so with my sister there was 8 of us cousins, all about the same age, so we figured we had just about enough of us to start our own wrestling federation. And so we put on wrestling matches for our parents who would begrudgingly watch. And you know, I look back now and it's like so great as a little girl that I was able to watch a woman in the ring. And Wendy Richter showed me that as a female, she was as capable in the ring as the guys were. We lived in Toronto, so we were lucky enough to have Maple Leaf Gardens, or as a girl in Monsoon used to call it, the Mecca of pro wrestling. And this is obviously where the TV tapings used to take place back in the 80s. And there was this huge, me and Rick were Steamboat, he's gone. Well, he needs another shout out. We were chatting about earlier, but the big, large ramp that would come down and the ramp would lead directly into the ring. And it's hard to describe unless you were there, but it was just this action. It was live and it was in front of you, and it was just like, it was pure superhero shit, is what it was. And the wrestlers were real life superheroes. So when my sister and I saw Wendy Richter getting in there and doing her thing, it was a really pivotal time for me, because it really reshaped the notion of what was possible for a woman. She showed me, along with Cyndi Lauper, that yes, girls just want to have fun, but she also showed me that they want to win titles. So speaking of titles, there's a new title, and I'm going to come back to that title in a second, but right now I want to share a favorite quote of mine, and that's, teach your daughter to worry less about glass slippers and more about shattering glass ceilings. Wow. Cue the Stone Cold let's do that again. Cue the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass shatter, because, ladies and gentlemen, the Women's Championship is back. Don't start that chant. As a WWE Women's Champion, a 7-time WWE Women's Champion, nothing makes me more happy than seeing this title. Of course, if someone wins it 7 times, we may need to revisit that statement. The new Women's Championship, it signals the demise of the Divas Championship.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty well known that I never really was into the term diva. I just kind of felt like, hey, just call us what we are, women wrestlers, right? Yeah. I worked my whole career to earn the right to be called a woman wrestler. And it's funny because I remember in the beginning of my career early on, we'd be traveling as a group, and so all the wrestlers would be in the airports, and some fan would work up the courage to come up to us and go like, you guys are wrestlers? And I just couldn't say yes. Even though I had trained, I was part of a wrestling show, I even wrestled on said show, but I just felt like I hadn't earned the right to be called a wrestler. And, you know, so as staying true to my heel persona, I'd say back to them, well, yes, I just kind of manage the men, and but you know, if the wrong lady messes with me, I ain't afraid to kick her in the baby maker. It wasn't until we had a viable women's division and we were regularly competing for the championship that I could say with confidence that, yeah, I am a women's wrestler. Could be some bra burning up here tonight, huh, ladies? What a great time for women in wrestling. We had storylines, we had pay-per-view matches, we were getting more time allotted to our matches, which is huge. We saw a rise in the female demographic watching the program, and it didn't happen overnight. You know, it kind of swooped in under the radar when suddenly the girls were there. You know that, Mark. And I remember we kept getting pulled aside by our road agents on the road. You know, people like Fit Finley and Jack Lanza and Jerry Briscoe. Did I see Jerry Briscoe here tonight? Where are you? Yeah, I saw him. And Arn Anderson. You're pulled aside and real on the low. You know, they'd be like, so women are getting best reactions of the night. We're like, oh my god, wow, that's amazing. Or they tell us like they'd have to write these house show reports and report back like, you know, their best reactions, and they would poll some of the fans, what was your favorite match, and they'd say, yeah, you guys were up there. They were pulling your guys' match pretty much up there. And I was like, wow, okay. And then one day Vince McMahon pulls me aside, which is like really scary. Because you're never sure what he's gonna say, you don't know, what kind of day he's having. And so he says to me, I hear that the girls are stealing the show. So this is what I said. I don't know what came over me. It was sort of like maybe a combination of fear, or I just couldn't take a compliment, or nerves, I don't know, but I go, made this swarmy face here. Now I went, and this fake phone, I'm not sure what that is, but I go, yeah, hello 911, I'd like to report a robbery. It looks like the women have stolen the show. What? Oh, guys. Didn't seem to clap at all. He just, he said nothing, and he just stared at me, and it was pretty weird. And then he let out a robust laugh, and he said, keep it up, kid. There was a funny story. A couple of years later, I actually used that corny line in a promo. You guys know that. And when I came back to Gorilla, he gave me the Iggy, like, I remember that time he gave me that corny line. Good stuff. So, I am going to wrap it up here because I think we all want to go and go home, go to sleep, or whatever it's called, camp late or something. Yes. There are so many people that I want to thank, and unfortunately, I do not have my scroll from the Hall of Fame. So, but I will forever be thankful to these people who helped me be here tonight, really. From the agents, to the writers, to the golden era girls that I worked with. And then, of course, to some of the guys who just I feel like they were my big brothers. They really embraced me and took me under their wing, a lot of the guys. Matt Bloom, who was my first partner that I worked with, Matt Bloom, known as Albert, right? Bubba Dudley, Lance Storm, he helped me create the move Stratosphere, a little backstory on that one. And William Regal, he was an excellent shot at helping me in the ring, just excellent. That was my English accent for him. And I want to thank The Rock, because he was a really true friend in the business, which is wonderful to have. And he was my mentor, and he really shaped a lot of my career, so I wanted to thank him. And I want to thank you guys, fans of the business, fans of women wrestling, and fans of women's wrestling. So I just want to say thank you guys. And thank you for letting me become a real life superhero, for helping me unleash my inner Wonder Woman, and for helping me become a strong, kick-ass female that I hope one day my son Max will look back on and be very scared of. Proud of. I want to thank JR. I am forever thankful for you for that special afternoon in 1999 where you saw something special in me. And thank you for your continued friendship, and Jan as well. Thank you guys. I want to thank recent Hall of Fame inductee Michael P.S. Hayes, because he was always championing for me. So I wanted to shout out to him. In fact, he was the very first person who encouraged me to send my press kit in the first place. I also want to thank Terry Taylor. He actually had my press kit in his hands when he jumped ship to WCW, and he actually threw that down on JR's desk, from what I understand, and said, well, if you don't call her, we will. So first of all, thank you again for calling. Just a little shout out to him. And to finish up, I want to thank my family. Thanks for coming out and being here for me this evening. This is really huge for us. We still look back and go, can you believe you ended up in wrestling? We can't believe it. And so this is huge for us. My sister and I, we had wrestling matches with our Barbie dolls. I don't know how many girls did that. And my boy cousins, the two Georges and Jason, they showed me that a girl can hang with the boys. And that became ingrained in me when my cousin George would repeatedly and frequently lose to me in matches clean. Yeah, that's George. Yeah, we put those pants on and we're going tonight. I would not like to thank my husband Ron for fear of him getting booed out of the building. Oh wait, we're not in New York. Thanks, Ron. And lastly, I would like to dedicate this award to my dad, who we lost last year. I was his little tomboy. And he would, oh man, tell me that's what happened. He would have been so proud to see me receive this award, to see me, his little girl, accepted it to the boys club. Thank you.